Hi, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy bringing you your November 2024 general reading. We're looking at the first half of November, roughly the first couple of weeks, and this reading is for the fire sign of Leo. I hope everyone's doing well. Thank you, as always, for being part of the great blessing it is to be able to create these videos. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch them. For those of you who like, share, and subscribe, my gratitude as well. Thank you. So Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, this is for you. Cross-watchers, if you're cross-watching for a Leo, this video is also relevant and important for you. It is a general reading, so it may resonate a little differently for everyone. Take what resonates for you, leave the rest. And if you know any of your other signs placements, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, sign, North Node, watch those as well. It can be helpful in bringing you additional insight and perspective into your situation. If something really does resonate, if it really does hit home and you'd like to take a deeper look at it and reach out for a personal reading or information about that, with me for yourself or as a gift for someone else, or you simply resonate with the reading style. If you're interested, you can email me, Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. You can click on the description of this video or the more to also see that contact information. I would love to hear from you. And I can usually get back to you within the same day. Or within 24 hours with more information. I do offer a lot of different choices, a wide variety of reading options in all areas of life, different types, lengths, styles, costs, spreads. I've put a little something in there for everyone. And I'm quite diligent and focused on the timely scheduling of personal readings. So email me if you're interested. Okay, Leo, let's see what the first half of November 2024 looks like for you. For those of you who like to know, I am using the Royal Deluxe Tarot and clarifying with the Gilded Tarot. We begin with the Nine of Wands and the Six of Wands. You are in or entering a period of success and victory and achievement here after overcoming perhaps quite a few challenges here. This speaks about, coming to a place of victory and success and recognition for those efforts through your own strength and resiliency. Maybe even when you thought there was no hope or wanted to give up or were too tired or feeling discouraged. This is a great combination of having pushed through that and come to a place of success. Next, we have the Two of Cups. So there's partnerships here, partnerships with a karmic a karmic thread kind of pulling the two of you together, or for a reason, which is almost always for our own growth and evolution as human beings. It's the traditional soulmate, kindred spirit card, best friends who maybe translate later into something more romantic. It doesn't have to represent romantic partnerships. It often does, but it doesn't need to. But there's definitely a karmic connection. So the two of you were, drawn together, regardless of the nature of the relationship, for the karmic purposes of learning things that help us grow and evolve as human beings, or at least the opportunity to, right? Free will and free agency. With that Two of Cups, we have the Three of Wands. The Three of Wands is a card of growth and expansion, again, through some of the efforts you've already put in. The Three Wands planted that you're holding on to represent, starting to see some of your smaller goals paying off on the way to achieving a larger goal, feeling hopeful, positive, and optimistic. So in terms of a partnership, it's perhaps seeing things, getting better or moving forward. And it definitely points to the potential for this relationship, this partnership, regardless of the nature of it, to expand and grow moving forward. Next, we have the Devil, quite a lot of focused energy, obsessive energy, perhaps compulsive energy, with the Lovers. So Leo, you guys have the Lovers and the Two of Cups both in the same reading. So for many of you out there, this is a relationship reading. And it's not to say that other aspects of life don't figure into it. They may be influencing factors here, but there's a pretty significant focus here on relationship. Doesn't have to be romantic, but it could be best friends, family, even work, but there's definitely a very strong karmic connection. I mean, there's a reason why the two of you have been in each other's lives, whether it's romantic or not. That reason is always opportunities for us to learn, sometimes in a very challenging way. But getting through those challenges kind of help us grow and evolve as human beings, right? So the Devil and the Lovers here may represent, it represents the Two of Cups, the Devil, and the Lovers in and of itself represents the strength of the connection that you have with this individual. It's very, very strong. The Devil kind of in between the Two of Cups and the Lovers may represent that there may be some turbulence or have been some turbulence in this relationship, and there may be the need for balance because when you look at the Devil and the Lovers, they kind of represent, two different aspects of a relationship. The Lovers is almost a heavenly blessed relationship. It's a relationship that has that beautiful karmic connection, being in alignment. It's healthy, it's beautiful, it's full, it's balanced. While the Devil in a relationship can represent, that there's the Lovers represents the best part, the most elevated, best part of a relationship and what brings them and keeps them together. And a beautiful, healthy, we love each other, we're oriented towards each other, what's best for each other, what's best for the relationship to keep it healthy, to keep it growing, right? And the Devil represents too much energy in one particular area. It represents the perhaps being entrapped and enslaved through our own desires, our own impulses, our own temptations, our own addictions, our own insecurities. It can represent unhealthy, toxic relationships where there isn't balance. There's too much energy put in one. You can speak of unhealthy relationships here, toxic relationships with unhealthy levels of codependency or power control issues or things of that sort, right? So it feels here like there's a need for balance here. It may be that in the relationship, one person might be giving more than they're getting back, which means that one person is taking more than they're giving. It may be that, the Devil energy, regardless of what it means, ultimately it's a card of selfishness and insecurity of wanting to contain something, because of your wants and desires. So it may be here that there needs to be some balance. And there's a whole lot of potential for this relationship to grow and expand if that balance can be put into it, right? If you look at it, let's take a fairly nebulous example like, our bodies, right? The Lovers would represent, a body that's healthy, that's balanced. You give it like lots of good nutrition, the right amounts of everything that the body needs, because a relationship is a living thing. It's like a body, right? You give it the right amounts of everything that it needs, good food, good hydration, moderate forms of exercise. It's healthy because you care about your body, because you want your body to continue to carry you around, right? You do indulge every once in a while as a form of a treat. Again, that's part of the balance too. But the Devil is like, chocolate cake and fast food all the time because that's what my desire tells me to. So you end up with an unhealthy body, right? So again, it feels like there's a need for balance here. And balance in a relationship typically, represents the equal giving and receiving. So let's take a look at the bottom of the deck for the overall focus. And subject matter, we have the Six of Cups. Interesting. The Six of Cups for me is also a secondary soulmate card, right? But it does speak of, especially in a relationship, in a reading where there's so much relationship energy, it can speak of nostalgia, childhood. It speaks of history and the pull that history has on us. People, places, situations that we have a history with. A lot happens in our history. Good times, bad times, up times, down times, failure, success. It can also represent looking at things through rose-colored glasses, very much like we did as children, unburdened and unfettered with, the cynicism and sense of being jaded that we sometimes often acquire as we get older. Again, it kind of points to the history between you and this other person, and a fight to get and maintain some sense of balance in this relationship. So let's clarify the overall energy. The Six of Pentacles, the balance of giving and receiving. It speaks of equal giving and receiving. It speaks of being open, needing to be open, and perhaps drawing on, some of the aspects of a child, or that we may have had as a child, in order to do that. Children usually give and help instinctively, intuitively. They're not, again, burdened down with, well, what if I do this and this happens, or what if I do that and that happens? So it may represent kind of drawing on some of those more open and innocent aspects of us as children to be more open to giving and receiving, using our experiences, from the past, whether they're good or have been challenging or painful, to kind of open us up more to giving and receiving. The Emperor. The Emperor can represent the other person in the relationship. The Emperor is kind of the boss of the tarot, right? He's the head cheese. All of the kingdoms, which are ruled by kings and queens, answer to him because they make up an empire, which the Emperor is over. So the best kind of emperor, of course, is an emperor that rules with compassion. Not only does he abide by, the rule of law, but he conducts it with also kindness and compassion as well. He understands, or she, that, all of the people in his empire are affected by the choices he makes. So regardless of sometimes what his desires or impulses, like that Devil card energy, might want to do, he needs to make a decision that's best for the greater good of all of the people that he's in headship over, right? In a relationship. So it's a position of status and control. Again, it feels like balance here. It feels like somebody because the Emperor, the worst type of emperor, the emperor taken to a really negative end of the spectrum, is a tyrant, right? He's a dictator, right? It's his way or no way. He's not willing to listen. He's not willing to consider other things. So again, it speaks of balance and needing to be balanced in this relationship. It feels like perhaps the fundamental challenge in this relationship, however it manifests, is one of the balance of control, who gives, who takes, and in what way. At the end of the day, does it work out to be fair and equal in the macro sense, if not in the micro sense? Because the Devil suggests that there's a level of imbalance here, and a relationship, in order to be healthy, particularly one as karmically connected as this, needs to have an element of balance in it. Six of Wands, Nine of Wands. Here we have the King of Wands, which is likely you, Leo, Aries, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. That Emperor is attached to Aries, which is a fire sign too. Some of you may be in a relationship or partnership of some kind with an Aries, strong Aries energy here. You may be in a relationship with another fire sign. Some of you, it's just you, with the Nine of Pentacles and the Fool. So again, going through a period of trial and struggle, pushing through with strength and resiliency to enjoy a period of success. Nine of Pentacles and the Fool represents, growth and expansion as well, starting new, moving forward on a new path. This feels like a relationship that's going through, maybe has gone through quite a bit of challenges, is still kind of going through some of those challenges, but it feels like this is a pretty transformative time. The challenge is the Devil card. The challenge is, well, I want what I want. I don't care, right? And the Lovers is, I want what's best and fair for both of us and together in this relationship. Two of Cups, Three of Wands. Four of Swords, Six of Wands again, and Death. Going through a period of reflection, of getting some different perspective, transformation in order for the relationship to move forward, to get healthy, to remain healthy, and to be, moving forward. There's a lot of potential here in spite of the challenges. Devil and the Lovers. The Moon and the High Priestess. I mean, the High Priestess, this is about needing to use your intuition. The Moon can represent things, hidden things that aren't entirely clear. It can represent fears which have become exaggerated, maybe because of painful experiences of the past, and needing to use your intuition kind of navigate through things. There may be a sense of, sort of like hidden competition, or because we also have the Five of Wands and Justice here, right? Justice is the rule of law, which the Emperor knows well, right? It's about what's fair, equitable, and even. It's about reaping what you sow, meaning that the outcome of something should be based on what you did, not what you wished for or hoped, but on what you actually chose and what you actually do. The Five of Wands is a card of conflict over what's the right thing to do here. It feels like there's some kind of fundamental issue in this relationship that's probably been an issue for quite some time about what's fair. And this is a general reading, so the little details of that and the intensity will vary in a general reading, right? So, it can be in terms of, work-life balance. I do all of this and you don't help, or, it can represent who does what in your day-to-day life. It can represent, on a physical or an emotional or financial level in terms of that. It can represent perhaps, wanting to take the relationship perhaps to a deeper level. I mean, justice in a relationship can also represent marriage if you're not married. Maybe, one person feels like it's time to and the other person doesn't. There's a resistance and a push and pull here in what is fair and equitable and even and right and moral and ethical in this situation. And there's a call here, pretty much advice about needing to use your intuition and be careful not to get caught up in petty arguments and disagreements. Staying grounded is knowing who you are and what you're about and not moving from that, but also being open to listening, to adapting and adjusting without, getting out of your center, and don't resort to petty squabbling and name calling, fighting. It's kind of, and not getting distracted. It's about staying focused on what the issue here is in a grown-up, mature way, and not kind of needing to use your intuition about that and stick with what you feel is right, but do it in a way that's not petty, or name-calling or overly argumentative. Just stand firm on what you know to be right for you. Yeah, it feels like the issue of balance here. But lots and lots of potential for growth here because there's a very strong connection between the two of you. All right, guidance, advice, feedback from Spirit. I mean, free will, free agency. It looks like a potentially quite transformative time. Advice and guidance. We have the Lovers again. And the Lovers can often represent a relationship that's at a crossroads, and some choices and decisions need to be made about the relationship. Ace of Cups. Emotional renewal in an already existing situation. Can we, ignite that spark again? Can we, continue this moving forward, and how? Some changes need to be made in order to, kind of reignite that and bring us back into alignment. Letting go of some perhaps long-held burden or grudges or things of that sort. Temperance is balance. It's staying in the center of that seesaw and teeter-totter that is life, with the outside arms going up and down. We can't control that. But staying grounded in the center and doing it in a firm but compassionate way, learning how to shift and adapt and adjust, be open to listening to create balance here. And the Star, renewed, restored hope, faith, and optimism. It's a card of rebuilding. It can be a card of reconciliation and second chances. feeling like, you know, you're on the right path. Again, what I'm seeing here, Leo, is a strong, strong connection in this partnership, regardless of the nature of it. I'm meaning whether it's romantic or some other type. The potential to come together, bring yourselves more in alignment, and move forward in a healthy way. Or if not, perhaps making the decision that you've learned everything that you can, and maybe now it's time for the paths to go in different, in different directions. Sometimes that happens too, right? Just because there's a soulmate, kindred spirit connection doesn't necessarily mean that the physical presence in each other's lives is, meant to last a lifetime, but the lessons are. So I'm going to leave it there, Leo. Those are your messages for the first half of November 2024. And I hope that for those of you for whom they resonated, that it was helpful, that it was clarifying, that it, I always kind of say the same thing there, but I do. I hope it was helpful. I hope it gave you some food for thought or some validation moving forward. If it did hit home, if you'd like to take a deeper look at something, or you simply like the reading style, if you're interested, you can email me at Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. You can click the description of this video or the word that says more to see that contact information. I would be delighted to hear from you and delighted to work with you. I will see you all in another week or two for the next set of generals. Until then, stay safe, stay well. Hope to see you back here again soon. And I hope to hear from some of you as well. Take care. Bye-bye.